minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, X minus 1. Fire.
Lights out, everybody. The creaking door.
Dimension X.
Inner Sanctum Mystery.
X minus 1.
Dark fantasy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sci-Fi and Horror, brought to you by Dwayne Old Time Radio. Sci-Fi and Horror features some of the best programs from the golden age of radio, including X-1, Orbiter X, Dimension X, it's a lot of X's, Lights Out, Ray Bradbury, Dark Fantasy, and many, many more. Before we start today's sci-fi and horror thriller, if you enjoy what I'm doing, let me ask you to subscribe to my channel. Subscribing is 100% free, and you will receive notifications on new posts. Lastly, if you have a moment, please write a short 1 or 2 sentence review or give a rating on your preferred podcast service. A positive review or rating would help me out a lot. And now, on to the show. Last month we aired the first 3 episodes of Host Planet Earth from BBC Radio. Now we're going to wrap up with the final 3 episodes from Host Planet Earth. We have the 4th episode, The Gemini Factor, the 5th episode, The Arrival, and their 6th and final episode, The Price of Freedom. Again, this aired on BBC Radio, 1967.
Host Planet Earth, a serial in 6 parts by Anne Howell and Colin Cooper.
Two possibilities. Either stage 3 has been successful and the ship's gone outwards into space, or it's blown up. In either case, the effect is the same. A blank radar screen.
If it had disintegrated, there would have been something tangible. Fragments. There has been nothing.
Rathbone's right, Nat. The only possible conclusion is that my theory has worked and Starfarer has freed itself from the laws governing the speed of light.
That's what worries me. It's no longer subject to the forces we know and understand. We should have waited until we were absolutely certain.
May I remind you that I am conducting experiments in spaceflight, not running a commercial airline.
You put 2 men in that ship, Professor Ormskirk.
That's enough, Nat. A manned ship was necessary. I take full responsibility, and as far as I'm concerned, everything is going well.
You are wrong to antagonize him.
All right, so I'm wrong.
Professor Ormskirk is a great man, Mr. Blakey. A very great man.
Well, that is irrelevant.
It is you who are being irrelevant. The point of the experiment was to prove that if you can conquer gravity, you can conquer the other laws as well, including the law that governs the speed of light. This is exactly what Professor Ormskirk has done, and you are criticizing him as if he were an ordinary man.
I know he's not ordinary, but the 2 men in Starfarer are. And so are the men who've been taken ill, Rathbone. Friends of mine. Yours too. Ordinary men. 3 of them are on the danger list.
They are being well looked after.
Oh, sure. No expense spared. Everything that can be done, etc. But what I'm asking myself, what you seem to have forgotten, is why they became ill in the first place.
I think we have already discussed...
Oh, yes, we've been all through this before. But nothing's been done. Meanwhile, people are dropping like flies. Not only the people actually working on the rockets, but clerks, storekeepers, guards, everyone. Now, Ormskirk should hold an inquiry.
Professor Ormskirk has other things to think about. Besides, the evidence is inconclusive.
And another thing, this shooting incident. I'm not very happy about that.
It was nothing to do with us.
I don't believe it. Those guards are armed, and you know it as well as I do.
If you have any criticism about the way this establishment is administered, I suggest that you make it personally to Professor Ormskirk. He will not thank you for it.
And what are the police doing about it?
I'm quite sure the police have the matter well in hand.
I'm afraid the superintendent's busy just at the moment.
It's very important.
It usually is, miss. What is the purpose of your call?
You can tell him that we're all in danger. You, me, the whole country. Perhaps the whole world. See if that'll arouse his interest.
Oh, I see, sir. You want me to say to the super that the whole world's in danger?
Yes.
I did hear you correctly, sir.
You did.
Well, I'm not sure whether it quite comes within our scope, but if you'll wait here, I'll see what I can do for you.
Now, let me get this clear. You say the scientists are carrying out experiments which endanger human life, right?
Right.
I'm no scientist, but I understand there's often a good deal of risk attached to this kind of thing.
Mr. Holland has already told you.
Yes, Miss Stewart, I know. Nevertheless, I find it difficult to accept the implication that this unaccounted-for sickness is bound up with flights into space.
Superintendent, do you happen to know the precise nature of these experiments?
I do not.
Well, I do. And you can take it from me that...
If you please, Mr. Holland. The Cellar Research Establishment may have their rockets on my doorstep, but there's a very good reason for my ignorance. It's called the Official Secrets Act. I'm sure you wouldn't want to incriminate yourself by telling me too much.
Superintendent, something's happening to these people's minds. There's some force at work, something intelligent and yet inhuman. A whole village has been subjugated.
Subjugated?
If that doesn't interest you, how about murder?
Murder?
A school teacher from Stratton was shot near the perimeter fence.
What do you know about it?
We came across the body before your men got there.
Ah, yes. You didn't happen to see a van driving away, did you?
No.
A green van going in a northerly direction?
No.
Who saw it? Who saw the van?
We have an eyewitness, unusual in a murder case. Are you trying to tell me that the shooting of Roberts is connected with this story of yours?
Yes, I am.
Who was he? Who was this eyewitness?
A man called Rathbone. I understand he has quite an important post.
Oh, yes. He's Professor Ormskirk's right-hand man. Did he see the murder?
Unfortunately not. He heard the shot, went to his window, saw the body on the side of the road and the van driving away. Not much to go on, but more than we usually get.
You do know that the guards are armed?
Not according to my information.
If the bullet came from one of their guns, you could prove it, couldn't you?
If we found the bullet, unfortunately it went clean through him. We'd have to search about 5 square miles of Suffolk with a fine-tooth comb.
Why don't you?
We will, Mr. Holland, if we have to.
Do you know that Roberts led a deputation in protest against the rockets?
No. Are you suggesting that Roberts was shot because he protested about the rockets?
No, because he knew something was wrong, horribly wrong, and was trying to do something about it.
That's a serious charge to make against a government department.
We're sticking to it, Superintendent. And I'll tell you something else. The joint leader of the deputation was the rector of Stratton. He committed suicide at roughly the same time as Roberts was murdered.
Yeah. You know, this idea of yours is a bit too far-fetched for my liking. All the same, I think we'll pay a visit to the rocket site. You'd better come too. We'll see what the experts themselves have to say about it.
I tell you, it's absolute nonsense. I've never heard such a fantastic collection of half-truths, misrepresentations, and downright lies. The man's obviously insane. Take him away, certify him, anything you like, but don't pester me.
I'm very sorry, sir, but a man has been killed. We have to investigate every possibility, however unlikely.
You could hardly have chosen one that was less likely. Alien force, indeed. Claire, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I'm sorry, Professor, but it's the only explanation that fits.
I'd hardly call it an explanation. What is it, this force? Where does it come from? Why haven't you felt it? You expect me to accept a bare statement as if it were a fact.
I'd tell you more, but there are so many things I don't understand about it.
My dear girl, if I went to the police every time I came across something I didn't understand, the superintendent would never get a moment's peace. Ask Mr. Rathbone to come to my office, will you?
It's been suggested that Roberts was killed by a shot fired by one of your security guards.
Oh, come, Superintendent. This isn't a concentration camp. My guards are armed with nothing more lethal than a whistle and a torch. We do have some Alsatian dogs, I believe. Quite sure he wasn't bitten to death.
No doubt the autopsy will tell us about that, sir.
Rathbone, you've already met the superintendent, I think.
I have.
Well, 2 further points, Mr. Rathbone. You say in your statement that when you heard what sounded like a car backfiring, you went to the window and were just in time to see a man getting into a green van, which then drove away.
Yes, northwards.
Quite so. Now, could the shot have been fired by one of your security guards?
No, they are not armed.
That's not true.
One moment, Miss Stewart. Now, Mr. Rathbone, this man you saw getting into the van, you didn't see his face, I suppose.
If I had, I would have told you.
You wouldn't know him again?
No.
It's been suggested that there may have been something unusual about him.
Unusual?
Was he a West Indian?
I beg your pardon?
A West Indian?
His back was turned. I was unable to see his face.
Thank you, Mr. Rathbone. I think that's all.
Thank you.
Oh, there you are. Obviously nothing to do with us.
There's this question of the alien force acting on people's minds.
Oh, really, Superintendent?
Forgive me, sir. I'd like to get to the bottom of it. After the sensational things that Mr. Holland here has been telling me, I thought perhaps you could put the records straight.
With pleasure. We are making a controlled flight into space, a new development. You've had a bit of illness, more than average, perhaps, but nothing to be alarmed about. I do assure you that we are fully aware of the necessity of discovering the exact cause and taking steps to eliminate it. You will understand that for reasons of security, I cannot say any more.
I understand, sir. Well, it's very much as I expected. You've no further point to raise, Mr. Holland?
Oh, what's the use?
Those guards are armed, and if you'll come with me, I'll prove it.
You've no objection, Professor?
None whatever. We have nothing to hide.
Purely routine, of course. I just like to satisfy myself.
Huh? Are you all right, Superintendent?
All right.
You look pale. Better sit down for a moment.
No, it's nothing. Well, I'll be on my way, Professor. Thank you for your help.
Not at all. We're always happy to help the police.
Wild goose chase, if ever there was one.
Superintendent, the guns, I'll show you.
Guns?
The guns carried by the guards.
I don't think that will be necessary.
But they do carry guns.
Professor Ormskirk has assured me that they do not.
But he doesn't know. He's so wrapped up in his work, he doesn't even know what day of the week it is sometimes. You've got to believe me, Superintendent.
Professor Ormskirk has given me his word that the guards...
Oh, why can't you understand? He doesn't know.
Claire, you're wasting your time.
More coffee, David?
Oh, thanks.
It's like a nightmare. I mean, why did Rathbone lie about the West Indian? It must have been him, but Rathbone deliberately tried to mislead us.
Rathbone? Rathbone's affected.
Yes. It's become almost impossible to talk to him like an ordinary human being.
Now we know why. An ordinary human being is just what he isn't. I said just now that we couldn't rely on anyone. But we can rely on Rathbone.
I should have thought he was the last person.
No. You know those trick questions about one person always lying and the other always telling the truth? Well, we can't be sure who's telling the truth, but we can be certain that Rathbone will try to mislead us.
You mean about the West Indian?
Exactly. He must have seen him. He could have put the police on his track, but he lied. That West Indian must be so important that Rathbone, or someone...
Or something.
Or something. Daren't risk him being involved. There's our direction. The West Indian in the mental hospital.
Peter Johnson.
There must be a connection.
But, David, he's catatonic.
I know, but I think it's time we paid another visit to Springhurst Mental Hospital.
There's nothing really to be said. Johnson has been discharged.
Cured, Dr. Harris?
There is no point in discussing the matter. The case is closed.
I'm not satisfied, Dr. Harris. There's still a lot we want to know. Where did Peter Johnson go when he was discharged?
I have no further information for you.
David,
Claire!
No, all right. It's only car sickness. I'm afraid I'll have to...
Where are you going?
I won't be a minute.
I cannot allow you
Dr. Harris, you can see she's not well. You might have the decency...
All right. I'll show you. Come with me.
Now, where... Card index, of course. Johnson, Peter. Address flat 3.
She'll be all right.
Nasty thing, car sickness.
I've never had it.
Odd how it affects women more than men.
Indeed.
And passengers more than drivers. Something to do with concentration, maybe. Oh, I'm not suggesting...
If you have nothing more to ask...
Oh, but I have. I want Peter Johnson's address.
Then I suggest you contact his employers, the Stellar Research Establishment.
I'd be wasting my time. But you know that, don't you?
I have no other suggestion to make.
You're not being exactly cooperative, Doctor.
I'm sorry.
Ah, Claire. Better now?
Yes, it wasn't very much.
Well, Doctor, we won't take up any more of your time. I'm sorry you didn't feel able to give us the information we wanted.
But we must have it.
Excuse me, I have an appointment. I must bring this interview to an end.
Well, where do we go now?
Flat 3, 79 Grimsby Villas, Stowmarket. Peter Johnson was taken there by ambulance yesterday.
David, so you did get his address.
Uh-huh. I just had long enough to look up the doctor's card index. It was a near thing, though.
Taken by ambulance, so he's not cured.
Did you expect him to be?
No.
Smart work on your part. What made you think of car sickness?
It wasn't very difficult. It happened to be true. '79. Here we are. Flat 3, Johnson.
How well do you know him?
We've passed the time of day once or twice, nothing more. He was very popular. Always had a big smile for everyone.
Yeah.
Peter.
No.
Wait.
Man, you're going to take your foot out of my door, or am I going to have to kick you out?
Don't you recognize me, Peter?
You hear what I said to your boyfriend?
But it's Claire. Claire Stewart from the rocket site. We're your friends.
No friends in that place.
Put that knife away, you fool.
You from the rocket site, that's good enough for me. Flaming murderers.
Right, if that's the way you want it. Sorry. He was going to use that knife.
Oh.
He's bleeding.
Yeah. I turn your cut. Funny. He really didn't seem to recognize you. Amnesia?
It could be, but... David, it's not Peter.
What?
I'm almost sure of it. It looks like him, but...
He must... I've got it, Claire. This is Peter's brother. His twin brother.
What?
But don't you see? He's unaffected. And you've got a twin sister, and you haven't been affected either.
But you...
No, I'm not a twin. It's beginning to look as though I should have been. I don't understand. It's screwy.
Oh,
I'll get some water for that cut.
Oh, my head.
Can you stand up?
I think so.
Good. Sure you're all right?
Yeah.
Now, listen. You heard what we were saying.
Yeah, but there's more to it than that.
But that's why they shot Roberts, isn't it? They couldn't get him any other way. He was immune because he had a twin.
Roberts didn't have no twin.
But he was immune, and that's why they shot him.
He was too strong for them.
Even though he wasn't a twin?
Yeah. Seems some people are immune without being twins. And another thing, not every twin is immune.
Why?
I don't know. There's more to it.
Where did you learn this?
My brother.
He's here?
Sure.
Sick?
Yeah, he's sick. Oh, my head is still... Your girlfriend's a long time with that water. Let's go inside.
Yes. Yes, she is a long time.
Damn. No hanky. I have to use a tea towel. Hope it's clean. Oh. Beautiful.
Claire. Claire!
Beautiful.
Claire, it's me. David. Listen to me, Claire. You've got to pull yourself together. For God's sake, make the effort. What happened?
Oh, David. Oh, a wonderful dream. No, not a dream. Real. Real. Trees, waterfalls, flowers, such flowers. And people, strange, beautiful people. Not human, more graceful. And warm rain. Fine sun.
Claire, you're a rational human being. You have a mind of your own. Don't let yourself be carried away by some misty vision.
You're so stupid. You don't understand a thing. What's so wonderful about human beings? You think there's no one else in our galaxy? I've seen them, David.
Claire.
Flowers. Beautiful. Must have. Lily. Water lily.
Claire, wake up. Do you hear?
Look. This water lily. Did you ever see such... Oh.
Water lily. A crumpled, soggy bit of rag, that's your water lily.
I thought it was.
Well, it's not. You can see that now, can't you? You can see what a mockery it is, this vision of yours.
But how can I be sure? How can I be sure?
Whatever it is, you've got to fight it.
But we don't know it's evil. We only mistrust it because it's alien, because perhaps we're wrong to resist it.
Claire, don't talk like that. Oh, Claire. Claire.
What's going on in here?
Chris, help me.
My brother, go get him.
Where's he?
In the bedroom. Bring him in here. I'll do what I can. Claire. Look. I take your hand in mine. You can feel that. You know I'm here?
They've gone. Who are you? Let go of my hand.
No, not yet.
Let me go back. Please, let me go back.
Come on, Peter. Chris is here.
David, make him let me go.
Not going to let you go. Now, you listen to Peter. He'll tell you.
I hate you for this. Let me go.
Peter, tell the lady about this vision she's been having.
Vision?
Yes, tell her about those beautiful people.
They all died. Yes, they died.
No.
Every single one.
Dead.
But I saw them. They were alive. They were so happy.
Then the invaders came.
Oh, God.
From another world. Flamethrowers. Everything that stood in their way. Burned.
No. I don't believe it. You're lying. Let me go. Oh, let me go.
It's all right. It's all right, Claire.
Give me your hand again.
You don't need my hand anymore. You're safe now. You've seen it.
Seen what?
Oh, David, it was horrible. The burning and the killing.
And that's what's going to happen here?
No. Something worse. These invaders, they didn't kill everything. The creatures survived.
The creatures?
They had no one to control them any longer. So they multiplied.
Multiplied. Nothing else but them. Multiplied and covered their whole world. Sucked it dry. Every living thing.
What sort of creatures, man?
Sucked it dry. Like the desert.
Yes. I saw it. The wind screaming over the bare rocks in a parched desert. Nothing else left. Nothing.
Over and over again it happened. Over and over again.
What do you mean?
He means when they sucked it dry, they went somewhere else.
Oh?
In the invaders' spaceships.
What? These creatures forced their way into the spaceships?
Then they killed invaders' own planet.
World after world, century after century, millions of years, stronger and stronger.
What are they?
Guess you'd call them parasites living on other people's worlds, sucking them dry, just like Peter said.
God. Interstellar parasites, with worlds as their hosts.
And now it's our turn.
They're not intelligent. They can't construct ships.
They know how to wait.
David, the rocket. They force people to collect them.
Yes. It may have been going on throughout millions of years. It may be that every time a planet has invented the transport, they've somehow drawn it to them. And now we've invented it. The moment Professor Ormskirk conceived the idea of the shoot rocket, we became vulnerable.
But how? The force. I mean, I felt it.
But I didn't.
But I'm a twin.
But I'm not.
Like I said, some people it just can't touch. I'm one. Guess you must be another.
There must be others like us. People who can resist it. If we could get together somehow.
You and me? We're in a very small minority. Believe me, we ain't got a chance. This is mass hypnosis.
Hypnosis? But what sort of creature can use it over millions of miles of space?
I've a feeling we shall know that very soon.
Starfarer. What are we going to do?
Nothing we can do. This world of ours is doomed. The rocket has gone to their dying world and is going to bring them back here.
It's back! It's back!
What?
Come over here. Look at that screen.
You may be right. Ask Professor Ormskirk to come to the control room. Tell him stage 3 is about to commence. It looks solid enough. Call them up, Mr. Blakey.
Control to Starfarer. Control to Starfarer. Are you receiving me? Over. Control to Starfarer. Control to Starfarer. Can you hear me, Starfarer? Over. Oh, hello, Chief. It's back, we think.
Have you eliminated the other possibilities?
I will get a report. Blakey's trying to contact them by radio.
Control to Starfarer. Report my signal strength. Over.
This is a great moment, Professor.
You think so, Rathbone?
But it is the proof that your theory is correct.
I knew that when Starfarer left the radar screen and disappeared into space. This is only the cup of coffee that rounds off the meal.
The world will think differently.
Oh, the world always thinks differently. That reminds me, the press release. Send it out.
With pleasure.
Professor, I can't get any reply from them.
The batteries may be run down.
But they shouldn't be.
They have been away longer than we expected.
Yes, but not that long.
Some factor we had not considered, perhaps. Some unknown cosmic effect on the equipment.
If there was something wrong with the equipment, we'd know about it.
Excuse me, sir.
What is it?
Teleprinter report from Jodrell Bank.
Read it.
Most immediate to Professor Ormskirk. Unidentified satellite in orbit 79. Minimum 270, maximum 310, plotted 1537 hours. All available data indicate return of your Starfarer projectile. We'll keep informed. Message ends.
So, that's it.
Nat, turn the speaker on. I want to hear for myself.
That's it. The transmitter's on, but they're not speaking.
Call them up.
Control to Starfarer. Control to Starfarer. Can you hear me? Over.
Again.
Control to Starfarer. Control to Starfarer. Can you hear me? Please reply. Over.
Let me speak. Control to Starfarer. This is Professor Ormskirk. Can you hear me? For God's sake, answer me. Answer me. Answer!
Ghost Planet Earth was written by Anne Howell and Colin Cooper and produced by Nestor Payne. Electronic sound and music was created by the BBC Radiophonic Workshop.
And the cast is as follows. Nat Blakey was played by Nigel Anthony, Professor Ormskirk by Clive Morton, Rathbone by Timothy Bateson, the Police Sergeant by Anthony Vickers, Claire Stewart by Brenda Bruce, David Holland by Alexander John, the Police Superintendent by Duncan Carse, Dr. Harris by Carlton Hobbs, Chris Johnson by Tommy Eitel, Peter Johnson by Barry Johnson, and the Technician by Preston Lockwood.
Host, Planet Earth, a serial in 6 parts by Anne Howell and Colin Cooper. We are now taking you over to the rocket site at Stowmarket, where Audrey Russell is waiting to report the landing of the world's first interstellar spacecraft.
Good morning from Stowmarket, where the sun has broken through the early morning mist and thousands of people have gathered to witness what is indeed a most historic occasion, the return to Earth of Starfarer, the British-designed, British-built and British-manned ship which has staggered the experts of the world by penetrating farther into space than anyone has ever dreamed would be possible. Starfarer is now in orbit some 200 miles above us. Professor James Ormskirk, director of the Stellar Research Establishment and the brain behind the revolutionary shoot theory that made Starfarer possible, expects to bring the ship down in an open space very near to where we're standing. Now, if this is feasible, it will surely demonstrate the uncanny precision of the computerized controls with which Starfarer is equipped. From here, I can see a formidable row of fire engines, ambulances, mobile television cameras, and so on. I can see many well-known faces. The Secretary of State for Air, the American military attaché, the Astronomer Royal is here. There are observers from several other countries, including Soviet Russia, and the Lord Lieutenant of Suffolk. Now, we've heard and read much in the last few hours about the enormous number of new possibilities opened up by this tremendous breakthrough on the part of British science. But what does the ordinary man think of it all? How is it going to affect the man in the street? We'll now go down into the crowds to find out. Excuse me, how do you feel about trips to outer space and back? Are you in favor?
Definitely.
Do you think it's a good thing?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Would you travel to outer space if you were given the chance?
I'm not sure about that.
It's been suggested that Starfarer may be bringing back samples of life from other planets, including intelligent beings very similar to ourselves. Would you be prepared to welcome them?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Unconditionally?
Well, if there's life on other planets, we must get to know about it, see what they're like, that's what I say. I mean, we don't know till we've seen them, do we?
Would you be put off if they were different? If they had tentacles instead of arms, that sort of thing?
Well, I expect we'd seem funny to them. Live and let live, that's what I say. Takes all kinds to make the universe. And speaking for myself, I would be very happy to welcome any visitors from another planet.
That's right.
What about you, madam?
I think it's wonderful.
Oh, you're from London. Have you come down specially here to see the landing?
Oh, no, we come up to see my sister. So we thought, well, while we're here, we might as well come along and have a look.
Are you proud that Britain is the first in the field?
Well, I was against it at first. You know, interfering with God's creation and all that. It didn't seem right. We got our own world to worry about, and it didn't seem right not to go messing about with other people's. But now I've been and seen for myself, I've changed my mind.
Thank you. May I have your opinion, sir?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to support interplanetary relations?
Oh, certainly I am. I brought along a selection from our literature to present the first arrivals from another world, if we should be lucky enough to see them.
May I ask what selection you've made?
Shakespeare, Keats, John Donne, Bacon, Johnson...
Ben?
Doctor.
Oh, pretty representative selection.
I've tried to pick out the very finest flowers.
Why are you doing this?
I think it's the quickest way to let them know what sort of people we are. The key to human character is to be found in our cultural heritage.
But what if they don't speak English?
Oh. Well, that will be a drawback. Of course, I think it can be overcome.
Thank you. Now, you, madam, what are your views?
Professor Ormskirk must be amply rewarded for his services. I think he should receive a peerage in the next birthday honours, even if it's only a life peerage. Well, we're always handing out honours to pop stars and sportsmen. Let's give something to the scientists for a change.
You obviously have a very high opinion of Professor Ormskirk.
I think he's a genius. And at this moment he must certainly be the happiest man in the whole world.
Control to staff error. Control to staff error. Can you read me? Over.
Keep trying. It's all we can do.
Control to staff error. Control to staff error. Can you read me? I say again, can you read me? Over. Oh, I can't understand it, Professor. Their transmitter's on, but they're not using it.
We must contact them before we fire the retro rockets.
Oh, we've got to fire those rockets whether we contact them or not.
I don't like it, Nat.
It's a risk, of course, but we've got to take it. If they're sick or unable for any other reason to use their radio, then the sooner we bring them down, the better.
Why should they be sick?
Well, you must admit it's a possibility.
I don't admit it. They were able to bring staff error out of the chute and back into orbit. If they could do that, there can't be much wrong with them.
Well, the computer program
The computer didn't allow for the extra time. They're overdue. That means one of two things. Either the computer program broke down, or they deliberately broke it. Either way, they would have to depart from the program to get back into the Earth's orbit. And that means that at least up to entry, there was nothing wrong with them.
Professor?
Yes, Rathbone?
The Prime Minister's PPS wants to know the latest position.
Tell the Prime Minister's PPS to go to hell.
We shall have to say something.
Very well. Say that everything is proceeding according to plan and the ship will be brought down very shortly. And Rathbone.
Yes, Professor?
Don't waste time on the phone. Get someone else to deal with these nuisances. Your place is here in the control room with me. I need you. The retro rockets are due to be fired in less than half an hour, and we haven't established radio contact yet.
Very well, Professor.
Oh, Nat.
Professor?
Rathbone tells me you've been in touch with Claire Stewart.
Oh, Rathbone. That man's beginning to try...
Nat, hold on. I'm afraid you're losing confidence in the project, Nat.
You forced me to say this. I believe that Claire is right. I believe there are dangers in space exploration we haven't even dreamed about yet.
Stay with us, Nat. See it through. We've got to bring those two men down alive.
Yes?
Claire?
Nat, what's happening?
We can't get radio contact.
That's bad.
They're going ahead with the retros.
Can't you stop them?
I can't, Claire. It's fantastic. I can't get anybody to realize just how serious this is.
David's gone to see the Minister of Defence.
Oh, will he be able to convince him?
He's got to. Can you ring me again?
I don't know. They seem to be watching me.
Listen, Nat. We're sending a man to Stowmarket, a West Indian, Chris Johnson. You've got to contact him.
Well, that's going to be difficult.
Well, it's terribly important. He understands more than any of us.
Well, what are you going to do now?
Follow David to the Ministry of Defence. I'm taking Johnson's twin brother. If he can't make them see the danger, no one can.
Well, how?
Well, Chris will explain when he sees you.
Yeah. Oh, look, I must get back. Rathbone's suspicious.
Good luck, Nat.
And you.
Now then, sir, you can't come along here expecting to see the Minister of Defence just like that. You'll have to go through the proper channels, same as anybody else. You go and write a letter asking for an appointment. That's the way to do it.
Look, man, I've told you, I haven't got time.
Ah, well, the Minister's a very busy man, too. You can't expect him to give up his time to every private citizen who wants a word. Why, even VIPs have to make an appointment. Some very important VIPs, too.
I've got to see him now before it's too late.
I'm sorry, sir, I can't help you.
David!
Claire, thank God you've come. Chris catch his train?
Yes. He promised to ring as soon as he gets to Stowmarket. David, they're running excursion trains. They're treating it like some kind of entertainment. It's too horrible to think about.
Don't think about it. We've got to find a way of getting the minister to see Peter. If he can be made to understand.
I'm afraid Peter's worse. I've left him in the taxi. You'll have to help me with him, David.
All right. Commissioner, there's a sick man. Would you mind giving me a hand?
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Collapsed, has he? let me help you. Easy now. Now, take it easy, old man. That's the way. I'll get a chair for you to sit on, then we'll call the Red Cross and... Here, where are you going?
Sorry, can't stop to argue.
Here, come back. You come back here.
Why can't you get him? You must find him. I cannot be kept waiting. What do you want?
To see you, Minister.
Have you an appointment?
There wasn't time to make one.
Charles, come in, will you?
You've got to listen to me, Minister.
Show this gentleman out, Charles.
The world is on the brink of a catastrophe. I have proof.
Please be quiet. The minister is on the phone.
And I'll wait till he's finished.
Now, look here. I don't care where he is or what he's doing. I want Professor Ormskirk brought to the telephone, and I want him brought quickly. That isn't a request, it's a command. Is that clear? I shall expect to hear from you within 5 minutes. Are you still here?
If that was Rathbone on the phone, you're wasting your time. He'll do everything in his power to see that that rocket lands. But you must prevent it. The safety of the world depends on it.
All right, Charles, I'll call you if I need you.
Yes, Minister.
Now, who exactly are you?
My name is Holland. I'm a reporter.
And this is a story?
It began that way, but it's a lot more now. You've got to believe me, sir. I'm pretty certain that rocket contains parasites which will spread over the face of the Earth and consume it.
Parasites?
It's their only function, their only means of staying alive. They'll gorge themselves until there's not a living creature, not a blade of grass left in the world.
Do you have any proof?
Yes, it's here in these papers. But there's no time, sir. The rocket must be destroyed before it lands. You must give the order immediately.
Destroy it?
Look, sir. These creatures are radiating a force, and it's spreading.
A force?
Well, I can only describe it as a kind of hypnosis. There's a West Indian outside. Will you see him? He's highly susceptible to this force. He seems to have some visionary powers. ESP, telepathy, call it what you like. If I can't convince you, I'm sure he can.
Very well, I'll see him. I spent half my life listening to people who think they have visionary powers. One more isn't going to hurt.
Now, fire retro rockets 1 and 3. Fire 2 and 4.
The rocket's all gone, Chief.
Good. Good.
And now the long wait.
Yes, the waiting. The worst part of all.
This is Audrey Russell from Stowmarket. News has just been received that the retro rockets have been fired successfully and Starfarer has begun the long descent to Earth. Indeed, the news is spreading out here amongst the crowds, and the excitement amongst the assembled onlookers is mounting second by second. The police are finding it difficult to control the crowds as they surge forward to the estimated point of landing, or EPL, as the technicians here call it. 1 or 2 arrests, I'm afraid, have had to be made, and one policeman who tried to prevent a man from climbing over the protective wire fence was manhandled by the crowd. He was bruised and shaken and unfortunately had to be taken to hospital. Meanwhile, speculation has been growing about the 2 astronauts. People have been asking, why has no official statement been released? Radio contact has been possible for several hours. Why haven't we been told how they are? Has anything gone wrong? Well, we don't know. We can only wait until Professor Ormskirk and his team of scientists choose to release the information the whole world is waiting to hear. Surely, it can't be long now.
Got to try.
I can't take a sick man as proof.
He has moments of coherence, when he can communicate this vision, when he can make you see.
Mr. Holland, you can't expect a Minister of the Crown to take action on the strength of a vision.
I have a theory to back up the vision, and some evidence to back up the theory.
Yes, the dominant twin theory, I think you said?
Yes. Briefly, it means that the only people with any chance of resisting this force are the dominant members of pairs of twins. And resistance seems to have something to do with being left-handed as well. The picture's not very clear.
You're asking me to believe a lot, Mr. Holland.
It's the only explanation that fits the known facts. Planets do become barren. Worlds do die. And it's going to be our turn next.
You mustn't think me unsympathetic. I assure you I'll keep a very close watch on the situation at Stowmarket. If there are any unexpected developments when the spacecraft lands, you may rely on us to take appropriate action.
But it may be too late then. Starfarer must be destroyed now.
Mr. Holland,
You must realize what an impossible demand you are making. However, I will alert military and Air Force units in the vicinity.
But don't you see what...
I repeat, I am prepared to take action. But not until we have a chance of seeing and recognizing our enemies for what they are. It is still possible that these visitors, if indeed they exist, will turn out to be friendly. Are you willing to take the responsibility of ordering their extermination before we have even seen them? Not to mention the unfortunate astronauts. I'm not, Mr. Holland. Such an action on the part of Her Majesty's government would be quite unacceptable in the eyes of the civilized world. But I'm afraid that's all the time I can give you. Thank you for coming to see me.
It's landed. The spacecraft has landed. It's lying in an open space only a short distance away, a marvelous piece of work on the part of the scientists. And everyone is making their way to this beautiful, gleaming, cylindrical object lying so serenely on the green grass of Suffolk. It's hard to realize that it's traveled many millions of miles through space. The crowd is moving forward, getting in the way of the ambulances and the firefighting appliances. They will not now be needed, it seems, a fact for which we are all profoundly grateful. I can see the director of the project, the distinguished physicist, Professor Ormskirk, his white hair blowing untidily in the breeze as he's jolted across the field in an open Land Rover. This must be a great moment for him. The enthusiasm of the crowd is absolutely tremendous. This is the cup final, the coronation, the last night of the proms, all rolled into one vast spasm of excitement. This is the kind of welcome that's usually reserved for screen actresses and pop stars. But the two astronauts, they're playing it very, very cool. Not a sign of them yet. Obviously, they're delaying their appearance until the very last possible moment. But it can't be long now. In a very few moments, I feel, the hatches will open, and then the celebrations will really begin.
Rathbone, keep those damn people away.
Stand back, please. Stand back. Inspector, can't you control them better than this?
We hadn't expected so many. I've sent for mounted reinforcements.
I hope they get here soon.
Get those hatches open, will you? Hurry, man, hurry.
We're doing our best, Professor. They should have opened it from the inside.
I know that, you fool. Where's that ambulance?
Standing by, sir.
Oh, to God, it won't be needed.
It's open.
I'm going in alone. Keep those photographers away. This is the peep show.
The hatch is now open, and Professor Ormskirk has gone in alone. But there's still no sign of the two astronauts. The crowd waiting is very quiet now, rather tense, expectant. Professor Ormskirk has just come out again. He's signaling. He's signaling to the waiting ambulance men. I'm afraid something has gone very wrong. Now 2 stretchers are being taken to the spacecraft. What can have happened? We shall soon know.
I'm afraid they...
What is it, sir?
As far as I can see, they're dead. Both dead.
Dead? But
I don't know, Nat. I don't know.
Here they come.
Steady,
my
Jock.
God.
Get them to the medical center, quickly.
I must go in.
Not yet.
The instruments.
No, Rathbone. Nat, close the hatch. Lock it. Inspector?
Yes, sir?
I want as many men as you can spare put on constant guard. No one is to approach the ship. No one. Is that clear?
I'm a bit short of men, sir.
And if they have any difficulty, they will be reinforced by our own security guards. Though I need hardly remind you that my men still have their normal duties to perform.
I'll see to it, sir. Oh, listen to them, Professor.
Huh? What?
They're cheering.
Idiots. Don't they realize...
I can't stand it. You fools! Can't you see? They're dead! They're dead!
Come along, Nat. Come along, you two, Rathbone. Driver?
Sir.
The medical center, and hurry.
Right, sir.
I've seen some pretty unpleasant things, but this...
Then they are dead, Doctor.
Not beyond any question. I've got the helmets off. Look.
They're unrecognizable. What could have happened?
We'll know more about that when we've cut these spacesuits off them. Scissors, please, nurse. No, not those. The heavy ones.
Lock the doors, Rathbone.
Lock the doors?
You heard me.
You think you can halt progress by locking the doors?
What are you talking about, man? What has this got to do with progress?
Throughout history, the advance of intelligence has been checked by locked doors. But all that is changing now. We are going to throw the doors wide open. All the doors. Whose side are you going to be on, Professor Ormskirk? You must make up your mind, you know, quickly.
Get out, Rathbone. I'll speak to you later.
But, Professor, you must listen to me now.
Let's get him out of here.
Yes. Now, don't interfere,
Lock the
Mr.
door.
Blakey. I'm warning you.
See, they're locked and that they stay locked. Now then, Doctor.
If I cut just along here, then we should be able to... What on earth?
Well, Doctor?
Inside the suit. Look. My God. I've never seen... Never.
Kill it, Doctor. For God's sake, kill it.
Kill it?
The scissors, man, the scissors.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't? Look, there are more of them coming out. Quick, man.
I can't do it, I tell you. I can't.
Oh, give me the scissors. I'll soon settle this. They're on my wrist. Get them off. Get them off.
I can't.
Doctor, help me. I can't get them off.
I cannot help you.
Get out of my way. Give me the scissors.
Kill them. Kill them.
Too late.
We must not kill. We must offer hospitality and friendship. We are the hosts now.
Charles, I must get hold of Ormskirk. I'll keep trying, Minister, but no one up there seems capable of giving us a coherent report. I'd better go and see for myself. Get a helicopter laid on, will you? Or in this fellow Holland. I want another word with him. Very good, Minister. Defence here, sir. This rocket business, I can't get a coherent report. I'm going up to see for myself. Yes, the chiefs of staff have been alerted, just in case. Yes, I quite agree, it's too fantastic. The situation may lead to something serious, and we must be prepared. No, I can't tell you any more, sir. That's why I'm going personally to... just one moment, Prime Minister. Well? The car's waiting to take you to Battersea. Where's that reporter? Holland? Speak difficult. They've gone to get him. His girlfriend's here, if that's any good. The devil do I want with his girlfriend? Well, she works at the rocket site. She seems to know a lot about it. All right, bring her in. Hurry it up, please. Right. Sorry, Prime Minister. There's a person here who seems to know something. Yes, she's just coming in. I'll ask her. Will you come in, please? Young woman, I have the Prime Minister on the phone. If you know anything at all about the situation at Stowmarket, tell me at once.
We know that the 2 pilots are dead. Some living creatures were in the spaceship. There are some casualties.
In heaven's name, what are these creatures?
We don't know much about them yet. They're hairless, legless, and slimy. If you can imagine something about 5 times the size of an ordinary leech.
Leech? I've never seen a leech in my life.
And they kill.
Well, sir, there's no doubt the ship seems to have brought back some highly dangerous creatures. Yes, I think we'd better wait until I've seen them for myself. I'll report to you as soon as I get there. Goodbye, sir. I don't understand. Surely the police and the security guards between them can handle a few legless, hairless, leech-like, whatever they are.
The force is too strong. It's some sort of hypnotic power.
Hypnosis? How do we fight that? How about the Department of Psychological Warfare? At any other time, that would have sounded funny. All right, get through to them. Ah, Mr. Holland.
I came as quickly as I could.
What news?
Well, first of all, I better describe these creatures.
I've done that, David.
Well, then, they've multiplied fast. Unbelievably fast. They've occupied the whole of the medical centre. Oh. Luckily, someone had the foresight to lock the doors, and it seems they aren't very good at opening doors. But it's only a matter of time before they get out.
Casualties?
No figures. Nearly all the medical staff.
Dead?
Yes. And several of the technical staff, including the chief engineer.
Nat?
Yes, Nat Blakey.
Oh, no.
Is Professor Ormskirk still in charge?
I assume so. I haven't been able to get any news of him.
Yes. You say these things are multiplying at a very fast rate?
A fantastic rate. They can fill a small room in half an hour.
Well,
I can have an aircraft equipped with an air-to-ground missile over Stowmarket within 10 minutes.
No, it's useless. The pilots will be overcome by the hypnotic influence, just as the pilots of the spacecraft were.
Yes.
How soon could you get some nerve gas to the area?
Well, there's a small supply at Colchester, but how do we put it into operation? Helicopters are out for the reasons you've already mentioned. And if what you say is true, there seems every likelihood that land forces will be subject to the same hypnotic influence.
Some people are immune. I am, I think, and so is Miss Stewart now. There are one or two others we know.
You're volunteering?
Yes.
And you, Miss Stewart, are you willing to undertake this task?
Yes, I am.
Very well. Well, if you can manage to stun the creatures first, it should be a fairly simple matter to kill them afterwards. I'm afraid you and your friend may have to do that also.
Mm-hmm. How do we get there?
I have a helicopter waiting at Battersea. My car will take you there. Pick up anyone else you think may be able to help you. At Colchester, you will be equipped with respirators and given instructions in the operation of the cylinders. It's an unusual way of doing things, but then the circumstances aren't exactly usual, are they? I'll tell the PM. Defense here, sir. The position is worse. Many casualties. As I propose to send in a group of volunteers with cylinders of nerve gas. When the creatures are paralyzed, we can decide how best to destroy them without risk to human life and undue damage to property. But, Prime Minister, the situation is serious. But, sir... I understand, Prime Minister. No action of any kind is to be taken.
But that's crazy.
Now, let me finish. No action of any kind is to be taken beyond the normal welcoming procedure applied to distinguished visitors from abroad.
Welcoming procedure?
Don't you see? The influence, he's been affected by it.
There's worse to come. The decision was taken after consultation with the palace. It is believed to be in accordance with popular opinion.
That's not surprising, when 9/10 of the population can be hypnotized by these creatures.
You've convinced me, Mr. Holland. I'm on your side.
Then we can still do something.
Yes, I must give the order myself.
It's our only chance. If we fail, it's the end of the world.
If we fail, we dare not take the risk. Get me the GOC Eastern Command, and for God's sake, hurry. This is the Minister of Defense. I...
Get the order.
I cannot do it.
Minister.
The world is welcoming these beings. It is right that we should also welcome them. There must be peace between the worlds as there must be between nations. It is stupid to resist an intelligence that is greater than our own.
No, it's a trap, don't you see?
We must take advantage of this opportunity. We must get to know our visitors. We can learn many things from them. They will show us the meaning of existence.
You fool. They've caught you. They can only show us the meaning of death. Of death!
Host Planet Earth was written by Anne Howell and Colin Cooper and produced by Nestor Payne. Electronic sound and music was created by the BBC Radiophonic Workshop.
The cast is as follows. Claire Stewart was played by Brenda Bruce. Minister of Defence, Rolf Lefevre. Professor Ormskirk, Clive Morton. David Holland, Alexander John. Rathbone, Timothy Bateson. First Woman, Beth Boyd. Nat Blackley, Nigel Anthony. Police Inspector, Preston Lockwood. Commentator, Audrey Russell. Doctor and Commissionaire, Ronald Herdman. And Second Woman, Betty Hardy.
Host, Planet Earth, a serial in 6 parts by Anne Howell and Colin Cooper.
And here is the latest space news. The arrival of first visitors from outer space has been greeted with scenes of unprecedented enthusiasm in all parts of the world. Among the many messages of welcome is one from the President of the United States. A U.S. Navy helicopter delivered it at noon today at the Stellar Research Establishment, Stowmarket, where the visitors are being entertained by scientists before traveling to London, where they will attend an official reception at the Guildhall. In London today, a small gang of masked men broke into the premises of the Stellar Research Institute at Bloomsbury. Valuable scientific records and data were destroyed by a series of explosions. Units of the London Fire Brigade are still fighting the blaze started by the saboteurs. The director of the institute, Professor Ormskirk, was not available for comment, but in a prepared statement from 10 Downing Street, the Prime Minister referred to the incident as an act of vandalism directed against further interplanetary communication, and said that the offenders must be brought to book and punished with the utmost severity. He went on, "In the atmosphere of friendly welcome prevailing throughout the world, it is intolerable that a tiny minority of extremists should seek to impose their will upon the huge majority of..."
I've been there. I've seen it, I tell you. They're killing people.
We know, Chris.
Crazy. Crazy. The ground is littered with bodies.
They're not all dead, though. Quite a lot are only unconscious. They just collapsed, sort of moaning, and they went quiet. I got out as quick as I could.
It was lucky for Chris you did.
All the others were walking towards Stowmarket. He was the only one walking away. The only one, so I stopped.
David.
Claire, I want you to meet Don Wills, ex-commando, explosive expert, and chief participant in the recent highly successful demolition job.
Oh, pleased to meet you.
We've just heard about it. It was on the space bulletin.
They didn't say it was highly successful.
You can take it from me it was, thanks to Don.
Tricky job it was. Had to use short fuses. We was lucky to get out in time.
What did they say on the radio?
Something about valuable records and data being destroyed.
It's an understatement. Every drawing, every photograph, and every scrap of paper that could help them to build another rocket is gone. And every piece of equipment damaged beyond hope of repair.
Yeah, you wouldn't recognise the old place.
The professor's life work.
I know. We can't be sentimental. We had to do it. Or there'd be more rockets going out, bringing back these hideous creatures.
Well, there's still the equipment at Stowmarket.
That brings us to our next operation.
Yeah, it sounds a bit of a tall order, that one.
I know, Don. But there's no alternative. Not only the aliens themselves, but the equipment, the whole installation. If we don't, they'll never let us off the hook. They'll hang on to us like...
Say it, man. Like leeches.
Like leeches. They can make their influence felt over hundreds of light years. Well, there's a possibility that we can send spaceships to pick them up. They'll never leave us alone. We've got to destroy that possibility, once and for all.
Once and for all?
Oh, no. It's only a matter of time before somebody or other finds the secret once again. But we've got to have breathing space. Time to find a way of counteracting this hypnotic force.
How much breathing space?
You said that Professor Ormskirk's the only man alive who has a complete understanding of this theory?
Yes, at present.
Well, okay, it's taken him 40 years to get where he is now.
It's very unlikely, but there could be someone else somewhere, someone who's near a breakthrough.
We mustn't think about that. We've got to take this immediate action. It may only have a short-term effect. It may not have any effect at all, but we've got to go ahead and do it because there's nothing else we can do.
Chris says things are much worse at Stowmarket.
He never saw such a sight.
And yet there's still this crazy enthusiasm.
Yes, that's what got me. All those people unconscious or dead, and the rest of them still cheering and singing as if they hadn't noticed.
They hadn't noticed. That's what mass hypnosis means.
They couldn't hypnotize me.
Oh, David, this is Ian. He gave me a lift from Stowmarket in his truck. Guess that puts him in our group.
Was I glad to see him? I was beginning to think I was the only man left alive who hadn't gone off his nut.
You're very welcome, Ian. We can use a lorry. How's the fuel situation, Claire?
Running low, but we've got enough till we get to Stowmarket.
But you're not coming.
You try and stop me.
I'd rather you didn't come. We may need someone in London.
You'll want all the help that you can get up there.
I reckon we should stick together.
Chris is right.
But don't you see, well, I'd just rather you didn't come, that's all.
Don.
Yeah?
How are you going to destroy the equipment at Stowmarket?
Well, the same way as we did it in Bloomsbury. Plant the HE, set the fuses, then bang.
Have you got enough HE?
There's about 200 pounds of gelignite.
You'll need a lot more than that.
We'll find some when we get there. There's plenty of it around if you know where to look.
It'll take time. You'll have to break into a blasting quarry or an army ordnance depot. Is that what you did last time?
Well, I didn't buy it at the supermarket.
Wait, I've got a better idea. The fuel.
A fuel?
Rocket fuel at Stowmarket. How many million gallons was it, Claire?
About 2 million. It's stored in the form of a gas.
And highly explosive?
Very highly. If that lot goes up, there won't be much left of the base.
How can we get at it?
I don't think you can. It's in sealed underground tanks. You'd have to get through several feet of reinforced concrete before you could set your fuses.
I can do it.
Quickly?
No, that's the trouble. If only we had more time.
There is a way. A certain way, but it's rather dangerous.
Oh, it's going to be that anyway.
Go on, Claire.
We can increase the pressure from the fuel laboratory. Under pressure, the temperature rises. When it reaches the flash point, there's an explosion. It's quite simple, really.
Simple? It's marvellous. Oh, you'll have to take her, Dave.
No. She can tell us how to do it.
Will you stop trying to save my skin?
Claire, it's not that. Well, partly, but... Remember, the force nearly got you once. You seem to be more susceptible.
But I felt nothing since that time, and... Anyway, I don't think anyone else could do it.
Well... Okay, you win.
What about the rocket itself?
It's too far away from the base to be destroyed by the explosion. You'll have to deal with it by more conventional methods.
Well, my 200 pounds of jelly?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just up my street. When do we leave, Dave?
Not before dark. It's not safe to show ourselves.
Well, that gives us time to go into the details.
That's bigger for myself. What I'd like to go into just at this moment is a nice plateful of bacon and eggs.
Move over, Don.
That's a pleasure.
Claire, for the last time...
Sorry, David. I'm coming.
You sure Don and I can't do it?
I'm not even sure that I can do it, but I stand a better chance than anyone else here.
She's right, you know. She knows. Why are you being so obstructive, Dave? This girl's got brains.
All right. Get in. I know when I'm beaten.
Okay at the back there?
Yeah, take it away.
Okay, Skipper.
Carry on. Look out for bumps.
It won't be too bad in the back with that mattress and the empty sacks we found in the warehouse.
I wasn't thinking of Peter and Chris. I was worrying about Don's 200 pounds of conventional high explosive.
That'll be safe enough.
Well, just bear it in mind, Ian.
Don't worry. I used to carry eggs to market. Never broke one. This is it, the Stellar Research Establishment.
Listen. What are they shouting?
Sounds like welcome to our friends.
Well, one thing's for sure, they don't mean us.
Will the guards let us in?
It's unlikely.
I have to get in somehow. This is what we're going to do. Claire and I'll get out here. Ian will drive the lorry over to the rocket.
It's over there, look. They've got a floodlight on it.
I'll have to put that out. Don and Chris will help you unload the explosive. Chris will then take Peter to somewhere that's going to be safe from both explosions.
The radar tower, over there.
Anyone in it?
I can't see any lights, so I suppose they're all celebrating, if that's what you can call it.
It's inside the perimeter fence.
Yes, but it's a long way away from the fuel tanks. It ought to be safe. I can't think of anywhere else.
We'll have to risk it.
When can we start on the rocket?
As soon as possible. Don't waste time. Get it done, then make for the radar tower.
They had guards round the rocket.
There aren't any there now.
Yes, there are. I can see them lying around.
Unconscious or dead?
Well, look, if we've got to drag them clear, that's going to take longer.
We can't leave them there.
No, we'll need help.
Don't bother about me, David. I'll go on alone.
How will you get in?
I'll get past the guards somehow.
Sure you'll be all right.
I think so, if I can get into the fuel lab. I was wondering if Professor Ormskirk was still...
Remember, don't trust anybody. We're on our own. Do what you can, and I'll come along as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we can cut an hole in the wire.
Or drive the lorry through. This old crate weighs 5 tons unladen. She'll go through that wire like a hot knife through butter.
Come soon.
Good luck.
She's got guts, that girl.
Listen to those people trying to get inside, and all the time those creatures are inside trying to get out.
Yeah. I wonder where they are now.
Still in the medical center.
You sure of that?
Peter told me.
Yeah?
Listen, man. Peter knows more about this than all of us put together. He told me about this whole danger right from the beginning. And if it wasn't for him, not one of us here would stand an ice cream's chance in hell. And don't you forget that.
Oh, look, come on, let's get across to the rocket.
She's nearly reached the gate.
Yes, but we've got work
Wait,
to do.
can't you?
Look, Dave, you've got to trust her. And we haven't got much time.
Sorry. Start her up, Ian. Let's get going.
Welcome to our friends.
Will you let me in, please? Here's my pass.
You heard what I said. Welcome to our friends.
Don't you recognize me?
I recognize you, Miss Stewart, but things have changed around here. Either you're for them or you're against them. If you're against them, you can't come in. Those are my orders.
Orders? Who gave you those orders? Who gave them to you?
My orders are clear.
Oh, nonsense. Open the gate and let me in.
Why should he let you in? He won't let us in.
That's right, he won't let us in.
I work here. I have a right to go in.
Ah, she works there.
Oh, you work there, do you? Welcome to our friends, then.
Welcome to our friends.
Welcome to our friends.
Welcome to our friends, Miss Stewart.
Welcome to our friends.
Welcome to our friends.
Welcome. Welcome. key. Behind that door. Oh, welcome. Welcome. My friend. Oh, my friend.
Get away from that door. Did you hear me? Get away from that door. If you don't, I shall be compelled to shoot you. I won't say it a third time.
Professor Ormskirk, Dr. Rathbone, of course.
Yes, he was going to let them out. I had to shoot him. Oh, I've been blind, Claire. From the very beginning, Rathbone was on their side, and I didn't see it.
I know, but he couldn't help himself.
No, it wasn't his fault. And it's not your fault either. All the same, you were going to let them out too, weren't you, Claire? You're a dangerous person, my dear.
It's too horrible to think about.
Come over here, Claire. Look through the glass partition in there. Look at it.
I feel sick.
They killed Blakey. Nat Blakey. They've killed the doctor and most of his staff. There were only a few of them then. Now there are thousands. You can see the medical room is full of them. And they're still reproducing. In a short time, this building won't contain them. I don't know what to do. I decided to stay here to keep people away. People like Rathbone and you. They'll point us very soon. They're eating their way out. And when they get out, they'll spread over the whole earth. They'll kill every living thing. What they can't hypnotize, they'll overcome through sheer force of numbers. There's no hope for any of us, Claire. No hope.
There! In here, David.
Get back. I won't hesitate to shoot.
There! What's this?
It's all right, David. He's not affected. I was so wrong to think that he could ever...
What's this? I thought you were under this damnable influence.
I was, for a moment. But I can shake it off if I have help. It's all right when David's here.
Huh? You better stay until we can find some way of destroying these creatures.
We have a plan.
Seen what you're up against? Take a look.
Good God.
The medical room won't hold them for much longer. If you look closely, you'll see that they're already eating their way through the door.
But it's metal.
That, no doubt, is why it is taking them so long.
When they've got through that, there's only the outer door to stop them.
There's also the danger that some of the crowd will break in and help them. There seems to be no limit to what people will do under this influence. What is your plan?
Part of it's already succeeded. Destroyed the technical data at Bloomsbury, together with the instruments and other equipment.
Go on, please.
2 men are at this moment preparing to blow up Starfarer. At the same time, Claire and I are going to ignite the rocket fuel, which she tells me is stored in underground tanks.
Is this your idea, Claire?
David, but I agree. It'll blow the whole site to pieces, practically.
It will. Let me get this clear, Mr. Holland. You're hoping that when there is no longer any possibility of sending out further rockets, the aliens will withdraw their influence.
Yes. At the same time, of course, we kill all the alien creatures that have already arrived.
I'm sorry, Professor. I know it means your life's
Please,
work.
Claire. Give me credit for a little understanding. Now. I've been a vain and selfish man in many ways. You see what my folly has led to. But now there's no question of preserving the equipment and the data. Everything must be destroyed. Everything. I'll do what I can to help you.
Thank you.
In fact, you better let me carry out the whole operation.
I can manage it.
Can you? I doubt it. You'll have to remain in the fuel lab until the critical temperature has been reached. Then, and only then, can you lock the controls and run for your life. By that time, it may be too late. On the other hand, if you lock the controls and leave too early, the explosion will never take place.
If it's got to be done, I'll do it.
I don't question your determination. What I do question is your technical knowledge. It's not really your department, is it, Claire? You've never worked in the fuel lab. What, for instance, is the critical temperature?
Well, anyway, the automatic alarm will come into operation.
My dear girl, the automatic alarm operates before the critical temperature is reached. No, I think you'll have to let me do it.
But...
Not another word. I am still in command, and that is an order, Claire. You and Mr. Holland will stay here until the alarm system goes off, in case any person is deluded enough to try to release these monstrous creatures. Take this pistol, Holland.
Very well. But I'm the one who's going to the fuel lab, and I'm going alone.
I do not care for these heroics.
You must take Claire to the radar tower.
Look! They're breaking through.
Quick! Out the door.
Not going to hold
We must get to the fuel lab at once. Follow me.
Got them all clear now. Ooh. How's it going?
Won't be long. Here, let's have those pliers, man.
Are these?
Yeah. Dave get through okay?
Yeah. He and the two coloured boys. They made it to the radar tower. He went off to find the girl.
Well, worried about her, wasn't he?
Oh, it's her being one of the weaker ones. You know, she can still be got at if the force is powerful enough.
Well, so could anyone, I reckon. We're just lucky, that's all. Here, hold that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Where'd you learn all this stuff?
Wartime. Commando unit. I was in a Dieppe landing. Ooh, right shambles that was. Makes us look like a Sunday school treat.
Don't you kid yourself. The fate of the world hangs in the balance.
Yeah? And they said that the last time, didn't they?
You believe in it, don't you? You wouldn't be doing it if you didn't believe in it.
Oh, I suppose not.
Listen to them. Welcome to our friends. Some friends. You ever see one of them old films, Don?
What films?
The Nuremberg rallies and that. Old Hitler and the crowd chanting, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil. That's what this lot reminds me of. A bunch of sheep.
That's not their fault, is it?
I don't know. Isn't it? Whose fault is it? I'd like to know.
I really know.
Going to light the fuse?
No. Now, look. I'm using an ordinary number 36 Mills grenade as a detonator. Now, I pull the pin out. We both run like hell.
Right.
It's only got a 7-second fuse, so I ain't got much time. You ever run 100 yards in 7 seconds?
Not me.
No, well, you will this time. Now, I'll tell you when to start counting. When you've reached 6.5, throw yourself flat on the ground and start praying, right?
Right.
Right, here we go then.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I can't do it.
What do you mean you can't do it?
I don't know, my hands have got numb. Welcome to our friends. Sieg Heil.
Don!
Pull it out, Ian. Pull out the pin.
But I
can't move, I tell you. You want to save the world? Now's your chance, so pull it out. Pull it.
I'll do it, Don. I'll do it. Then we'll run like hell, Don. Like Olympic sprinters. Don, it's out. I've done it. We've got to run, Don. Come on, come on.
Welcome.
7 seconds, Don. 7 seconds. Come on, get moving. Come on.
David, I hope they got clear.
Don's no fool. Unless... How long now?
Hard to say. I've never done this before.
You don't still feel...
Oh, no. At least I don't think so. If anything should happen, if I collapse, something like that, you know enough to go on.
I think so.
You won't have time to drag me clear, you know that.
Listen, nothing's going to happen. You've seen these things. You've seen what they are. Crawling, squirming, slimy creatures. Can destroy a whole world as surely as they can destroy a steel door. They can destroy you, too. But you don't have to let them take possession of your mind. Not if you don't want them to.
It's easy to talk. It happens before you know about it.
It's not going to happen while I'm here.
There's the alarm.
God, what a noise!
We can't leave yet. If I lock the controls now, we can't be sure of it.
Action now!
Nearly there.
You go now, Professor. All right. Critical temperature.
Yeah. Just coming up to it. Yes. Yes. I've locked the controls.
Come on, hurry.
glad to see you. The way you cut through those...
Get that door shut. My arm. Phew. All right, Claire.
Yes.
You've done it, man. You've done it.
None of them got out. I mean, sure of that. Where are Ian and Don?
They never came. They were still there.
And the rocket?
I guess so.
Where's the professor?
He's around. Wanted to be on his own. He looked kind of lost.
He must have gone up to the top. I'd better go and look for him.
Peter's still the same.
Still the same?
No change.
David, please come up with me.
But, Peter... It's all right. Let's find Ormskirk.
This is the top floor.
There he is.
Professor?
Now, Claire, thank God you got away in time. You did well, both of you. We are all in your debt. The whole world, I think.
I'm sorry it had to come to this. For you.
You did the only thing possible in the circumstances. Your reasoning was very sound, very logical. Unfortunately, you didn't go quite far enough.
What do you mean?
Open that window, Claire. Thank you. Listen to them. Listen carefully.
They're still chanting.
Welcome to our friends. I believe that is what they're saying, isn't it?
So they're still...
They are still in the grip of the Force. Hundreds of light years away, these creatures are still trying to subjugate our world.
But why? Why? We couldn't bring them here now, even if we wanted to. They must know that.
Unfortunately, it's only too clear to them. It is because there's still hope for them that they're continuing to exert their influence.
I don't understand.
I do.
You are very perceptive, Mr. Holland. May I trouble you for the return of my pistol? Thank you.
No.
You see, Claire, they have made me their ally. When I escaped from the medical center, I thought it was a miracle. It was nothing of the sort. The rocket installations have been destroyed, but the knowledge remains in my brain. Another Starfarer can be built.
But you'd never be persuaded to build it.
Can I be sure of that?
But other scientists are working along the same lines. It's only a matter of time before the knowledge becomes common property.
Time is precisely what I'm hoping to gain. There may be enough time to find an antidote. An effective line of resistance. I can only hope so.
You don't even know whether they'll withdraw the influence.
They are not capable of conscious choice. I attract it as long as I'm alive. So you see, there is only one logical course of action open to me. In any case, my work is finished.
It might work. You see the reasoning behind it.
We should have stopped
He
him.
made the decision.
Yes, but...
Whose side are you on, Claire?
That wasn't fair.
They've stopped chanting. Look. They're turning away. The crowd's breaking up. It's incredible. But I believe it's worked.
David, Claire, glad you could come.
Peter!
No, Chris. Peter's over there.
Doesn't he look fine? And there's Harry Benson, too. It's wonderful to see him looking so well again. I must go and speak to him, David.
Don't be too long.
What will you do? Come over and break it up?
I shall do just that.
Hey, you know, we just had a complaint from the woman next door.
A complaint?
Yeah. She's been complaining about an alien invasion. That's what she calls it.
What did she mean by that?
She just don't appreciate good music, man. I guess that's what she means. Hey, come on inside.
I would like to know why they're blaming the doctor so well. One class of people fussing, while the other class cussing, running them out like the big clock.
Host Planet Earth was written by Anne Howell and Colin Cooper and produced by Nesta Payne. Electronic sound and music was created by the BBC Radiophonic Workshop.
The cast is as follows. Announcer, Rolf Lefevre. Chris Johnson, Tommy Eichel. Claire Stewart, Brenda Bruce. David Holland, Alexander John. Ian, Preston Lockwood. Don Wells, Nigel Anthony. Guard, Humphrey Morton. Woman, Beth Boyd. And Professor Ormskirk, Clive Morton.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy what I'm doing, I ask you to please subscribe to my channel or channels. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, peace.